Being honest, I thought he lost the fight. That's just me being honest.
He's been in the PFL for like 5 years. He's won once. So there's obviously some flaw.
It just kind of happens for me. I fight my fight and then it usually turns out that I win.
This is Talkin' presented by Dude Wipes. I'm Chris Maxwell here with 2022 PFL featherweight champion Brendan Loughnane, who's now back in the playoffs for his fight against Kai Kamaka. Now, even though Kai is making his PFL debut this season and has already secured a spot in the playoffs, you both have a common opponent that you have beaten during your time here in the PFL, and that is, of course, Bubba Jenkins, PFL veteran. So we're going to go back and actually watch the fight that Kai started his PFL career with, which was a unanimous decision win over Bubba Jenkins. And I want to get your take as someone who beat him in the 2022 finals with a finish. Let's roll. So I'm sure you've gone back and you've watched this fight in preparation for your upcoming match. What was your initial reaction to seeing this fight go the distance?
Being honest, I thought he lost the fight. That's just me being honest. I think Bubba made a lot of improvements in this fight on his striking. And I can't remember exactly, but I think from watching it, I sent it 3 of my coaches and all 3 of them rang me back and said, he didn't win that fight. So that's just what I thought, that's my opinion. We have 3 common opponents. I finished all 3 of them. I think he lost this. I think Justin beat him on a split decision. I finished him and Pedro gave him hell. That's the truth.
When you're watching the highlights from this fight, what do you see as his biggest weaknesses that, I know you don't want to give away your game plan, but that you took into consideration when preparing for this match?
None. He's a good fighter. He's good all round. He comes from a great gym. Seems like a cool guy. But I'm just stating what I seen in them fights. Pedro had a lot of success, and I had Pedro finished in the first minute. Bubba beat him in my eyes on this fight. Look, and who was the other one? Oh, Justin also beat him. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I see.
Even though points aren't on the line, a championship is. So are you going in with the same strategy that you want to get that early finish?
I'm always on that strategy. It just kind of happens for me. I fight my fight, and then it usually turns out that I win. I usually figure them out quite early, and then start making my reads. And once that happens, it's all downhill from there.
So what can we expect out of Brendan Loughnane on Friday night?
Always entertaining, always put it all on the line. I think I'm on my 13th, if I'm not mistaken, PFL fight now. So, yeah, I mean, if you look through them 13, you won't find many boring ones. So, yeah, let's go.
Excited to see you back in the Smart Cage for yet another playoff fight. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.
I'm here with Kai Kamaka, who, even though is making his PFL debut this season, has managed to fight his way to the playoffs and will be taking on PFL veteran and former champion Brendan Loughnane. Now, in your short time with the PFL, you've had 3 common opponents with Brendan Loughnane: Justin Gonzalez, Pedro Carvalho, and of course Bubba Jenkins, who Brendan beat in the 2022 finals to win the championship. So we're going to go back and watch that fight, and I want to get your feedback on his performance and how you're preparing for your upcoming playoff fight. So let's roll the tape. So I'm sure you've gone back and you've watched this fight to study in preparation. What was your initial reaction to the performance, the 4 rounds leading up to the finish?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good fight. I can tell that Brendan likes to switch stance pretty often, but that's due to Bubba being a southpaw too, and Bubba tries to switch stance as well. Not as clean, not as smooth as Brendan, obviously being the striker, but you gotta switch stance on a wrestler just to give him different options of where he's putting his head for his takedowns. So,
when you watched this fight initially, do you think that Bubba was the same fighter when you fought him as he was in the championship?
From what I've heard, Bubba, the fight that Bubba had on me, or that he came in with me, he looked a lot sharp, or he looked sharp, and he looked one of the best as he's ever looked. I mean, not taking on anything from his title championship run, but it was just I didn't really dive into Bubba that much, just because I especially my opponents, because I offer different my style is gonna be different from probably who they faced. So I mean the common opponent thing is pretty cool. You know, you can look in that so much, but I mean Brendan's, you gotta look. Bubba would be have the guy to critique both because he fought both of us. But I mean, you still can take a lot from it because how Brendan fought Bubba. But Brendan's style is a little bit different from mine. His attributes is a little bit different from mine. His background, you know, I'm a wrestler, so his mindset, his thought process of a fight is gonna be a lot different from mine, especially in the dangers of being in a fight. Getting taken down, you know, is not much of a worry to me. So it might be different from Brendan. You know, I just maybe not, but I grew up wrestling, so I'm gonna be more comfortable in different situations.
And then going into this fight on Friday, what can we expect out of Kai Kamaka, knowing that Brendan is a finisher? He's had early finishes this season and throughout his career here at the PFL. How are you preparing to combat that, and what can we expect out of you?
Well, I mean, he's also human. He's able to lose. He's been in the PFL for like 5 years. He's won once, so there's obviously some flaw, and you gotta be able to, you gotta look at those in every way, the details in every way, and you gotta try and beat it and match it at the same time. So, me and my coaches, you know, we've trained constantly for the past for the past years, and we're taking things from that we used before, and we can show it now.
Okay. Well, this has been another episode of TALKIN presented by Dude Wipes. Thank you so much, Kai, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.